So I've decided to talk about my Fitbit Charge 2 and my opinions on it based on me being someone who had the Fitbit Charge HR. Basically, the Fitbit Charge 2 is slightly similar in size. Unfortunately, I can't actually compare the two together because the reason why I purchased my Fitbit Charge 2 was because my Fitbit Charge HR was the band started to crack at around here, and it didn't have the Fitbit Charge HR doesn't have an easily removable, replaceable band for it. So you can purchase these bands from Amazon, but then you would have to like screw it in place, etc. So I was still using it with the cracked band, and eventually the band completely cracked, and I didn't realize it. And then all of a sudden, I felt something weird on my wrist, and one of these things where you're always wearing or always carrying, and then all of a sudden it's not there. Take a look at it, and my wrist felt sort of naked. So that's when I realized that it had fallen off somewhere, backtracked and couldn't find it. So I purchased the Charge 2, and the Charge 2 has very similar functions to the Charge HR. One of the two benefits of the Charge 2 over the Charge HR that I had is that this has a longer battery life. This will last up until 7 days based on my usage, but it depends on how actively I use it and whether I set up the silent alarms. Another benefit to this one over the Charge HR is that these bands are replaceable. You can purchase these bands from Fitbit, and they are replaceable. There's a snap in place that puts it in. Now, the thing that I don't like about the two things that I'm not crazy about in regards to the Charge HR is that the Charge HR 2, sorry, what I have in my hand, what I'm not crazy about is one, the silent alarm strength. The silent alarm on the Charge HR, the original one, was powerful enough that if I was in a deep sleep, it would wake me up. And if I'm walking on the sidewalk and doing things, I would immediately notice the vibration going off. However, with the Charge HR 2, the Charge 2, wish could get the names correct. The Charge 2, the vibration is so weak that it's often possible to miss it going off. Whereas I used to use the Charge HR to wake me up from bed. It's almost impossible to do that with the Charge HR. The vibration just isn't strong enough for that. Another thing that I prefer the Charge HR over the Charge 2 is the charging cable. Now, the charging cable for the Charge 2 is it uses this clip here. Okay, you basically clip it in place, and it has to be properly clipped. And you plug the other end to a computer or USB AC outlet, and it will charge it. It charges fairly fast compared to other devices. Like within an hour, it will charge my Charge 2 back to 100%. The charger on the original Charge HR actually plugged into the back of the device. So you basically pushed it in and it clicked in place, and it would charge. This, you have to clip it in place, and you have to make sure that it's properly clipped, because where it charges, I don't know if you can see, there's these two metal dots on. Currently, it's on the bottom. Okay, but these have to go right here, and you have to make sure that it's properly aligned in order for it to charge. Now, I've clipped it in place sometimes when my Fitbit was almost dead, not realizing that it wasn't properly clipped into place, and then when I picked it up and attached it to my wrist, there wasn't enough battery power to last me for that day. So anyways, those are my thoughts on the Fitbit Charge 2. And this is coming from someone who has used the original Fitbit Charge HR. Basically has all the same features, takes your heart rate, does steps, does the sleep alerts, batteries at 100. You push the button on the side to go through the menu, the alarm, set runs, stopwatch. It has a relaxation timer, which the original didn't have. Notification, and this is the default. So if you have any questions, please post it below, and I will do my best to answer the questions. Thanks.